First, live, local, now on Channel 3 News.
First, gunshots, then a standoff with police. The drama that gripped a Pensacola neighborhood tonight.
An Okaloosa County woman fighting to keep her chickens, but can she change a county law to do it?
And a doctor on a mission. His efforts to get kids the vaccinations they need and change the minds of parents who don't.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news. A SWAT standoff in Pensacola now moves into its fourth hour.
It's happening near Lillian Highway and 57th Avenue in Pensacola right now. Janice Fernandez joining us live with what's going on out there. Janice?
We are actually quite a bit away from that scene. For security reasons, deputies asked us to stay back, so we're sort of stationed here at this post office in Myrtle Grove. A spokesperson with the Escambia County Sheriff's Office says they have not been able to make contact with that homeowner. He is inside his home with the lights off and is not answering phone calls. Now, when we got out to the scene earlier this evening, neighbors and witnesses told us that this man who lived with two other roommates started shooting at his roommates and also at neighbors. I spoke with one of those roommates. She did not want her name or face on camera, but says that she just moved into this home today and does not know this man well at all. She got home at around 5. She says he was drunk, grabbed his gun and started shooting at her and the other roommate. The roommates managed to make it out just fine. He also started shooting at neighbors. The roommate called 911, and that's when deputies and SWAT arrived, and that's really where the scene stands right now. Now, there are actually quite a few people at the scene. I'm told at least 5 homes were evacuated for safety reasons. So many people are at this scene sort of waiting and watching, trying to get that green light for when they can get home, but they're not sure how long this standoff will last. Again, a spokesperson saying they have not been able to make contact with that homeowner. He is inside his home. All the lights are out. Trying to call him, he's not picking up that phone. And again, some people waiting to just get back inside their homes. This standoff could go on for a couple of more hours, and we will continue to bring you the latest as it becomes available. For now, reporting live in Escambia County, Janice Fernandez, Channel 3 News.
Thank you again. That was Janice Fernandez live from the scene. We now know the name of the 4-year-old boy who drowned while swimming at Garniers Beach Park in Fort Walton Beach yesterday. Joshua Bryant was swimming with his 12-year-old sister less than an hour and a half after he went missing. Divers found his body near where he was last seen. The medical examiner today confirmed that the child drowned.
A Pensacola woman convicted of beating a teenage girl has been sentenced. Miyoshi Robinson was sentenced to 17 months in prison, which she's already served in the Escambia County Jail. She also must serve 5 years on probation. She was found guilty of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Robinson knocked Ronkia Scaniers unconscious and kicked her in the head in a fight in Pensacola in January of 2013. Last year, Scanier died from her injuries.
The Fort Walton Beach Police Department getting new vehicles with a new look. The City Council approved 8 new cruisers, 4 SUVs, and 4 sedans. Members of the department came up with the new graphic design for the cars. Corporal Travis Saylor's design was chosen. A police spokesperson says it costs $300 less than the old graphics.
First warning weather, powered by Pensacola State College.
What a nice night, and the temperatures are going to be great overnight. Look at this in Crestview right now, 67 degrees now at Milton, 73, Pensacola, 72. We've got cool weather for you. Our humidity has been low yet again all day and all night. We'll see some more of that as we head through the day tomorrow, and the weather tomorrow will be dry. We'll start out the morning hours with low temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, actually pretty close to record lows, probably not quite getting there, but close. And then tomorrow, we'll have lots of sunshine out there with a high of about 90 degrees. Taking it away from the Gulf Coast now out over the Atlantic, we've still got this area of low pressure. Doesn't look very impressive on our satellite imagery late tonight, but we'll tell you where it's headed coming up.
Thank you, Alan. An Okaloosa County woman got a visit from county officials last week telling her she has to get rid of her chickens. Now she's hoping to change the county law that forbids farm animals where she lives. Channel 3's Rob Brown has more.
Across the country, owning chickens has become more popular, but in Okaloosa County, it's not exactly in the rule book. That's why county commissioners will be taking a look at one particular ordinance. When Tori Cox and her roommate Sarah Becker moved in, she didn't know the chickens would cause a problem.
Nobody has said anything. Everybody was okay with it. I made sure right when we moved in that I introduced myself to all the neighbors and asked if they were okay with it.
But last Friday, they received a visit from a county code inspector.
She just asked if we had chickens, and I said yes, and she said that they had gotten a complaint, and I said, I'm assuming it's my neighbor.
They were told they had a week to remove the birds or face a fine. The county code says that livestock, poultry, and honeybees are prohibited in residential zones outside of the municipalities. Those governments can write their own codes. Becker and Cox say the animals are like pets and hope to change the code.
And my kids love it. They come out with her every morning and they feed the chickens and they hold the chickens and they pet the chickens and they love them.
Cox has started a petition asking the county to change the ordinance, allowing what fans call backyard chickens. As of this afternoon, the petition had almost 400 signatures, and that number continues to grow. Cox says Commissioner Nathan Boyles called her Wednesday, putting the citation on hold until the county can evaluate the code.
Basically, he's getting with the different counties and seeing how they came about to be able to have backyard chickens, and then just kind of present it.
Until then, she says she's worried about the future of the birds.
Because I don't want to lose my birds. That's like taking anybody's animals or even children away from them. I'm not doing anything horrible. I'm not, I'm not harboring fugitives.
County Commissioner Nathan Boyles told Cox they'll have a conversation about the ordinance in mid-August. In Okaloosa County, Rob Brown, Channel 3 News.
Okaloosa County Administrator Ernie Paget is resigning. Paget was hired in April of last year. He sent a letter to the county giving an effective date of October the 1st. That is 2 weeks after the commission is supposed to approve the next budget. He gave no reason for leaving. He previously served 5 years as the Santa Rosa County Administrator until he resigned suddenly in 1995.
Florida regulators will hold their second rulemaking hearing for growing and distributing Charlotte's Web marijuana on Friday. The low THC marijuana strain is supposed to be available early next year, but many people don't agree with the latest redistricting distribution proposal. The second effort divides the state into 5 regions. North Florida would have 2 regions with 2 growers for 4 million people, they say, but Central Florida would only have 1 region and 1 grower for 8 million people.
Having, one dispenser in Central Florida for 8 million people is a very large order, particularly when you're trying to get this pharmaceutical to patients who need it quickly.
The plan also sticks with a lottery to give 5 nurseries licenses to grow. Licenses must be awarded by the first of the year.
Doctors and healthcare providers challenging a Florida gun law they say will appeal a recent decision to uphold the measure. A federal appeals court last week ruled the law restricting what doctors can tell patients about gun ownership is constitutional and does not violate their First Amendment speech rights. But the Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence announced Monday that doctors represented by the center will appeal that 2-1 decision. The law firm involved in the court battle will ask the entire 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta to review that ruling.
Still to come on Channel 3 News, it's a little used bridge, but it is worn out. How much it's costing to replace the span over Brushy Creek.
Over the years, an Ohio jail has housed thousands of undocumented immigrants from Mexico. The sheriff now sending out a bill to recoup $1 million for taxpayers.
Parents can sometimes be the biggest obstacle in getting timely vaccinations for children. The doctor who's trying to break through the barriers.
And one car tops the rest on a new list of safest vehicles out there. Is it yours?
Channel 3 News First Warning Weather Net is brought to you by Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strong.
High of about 90 there, lots of sunshine. Of course, rain's going to be back in the forecast. And of course, well, it's going to start to get a little bit more humid out there, especially Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's when we'll have a chance for those pop-up thunderstorms. Sunday, rain chance a little bit higher, but overall the weekend, we could see those pop-up showers. Same thing is true as we head into next week.
Good job.
Oh, it's been great.
We like what you're delivering.
This? Yeah, out there tonight. It's just
I can't wait to get outside tonight.
I know.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so nice.
Well, a small worn-out bridge in Escambia County comes with a big price tag for replacement. Well, the county says it's worth it.
It's $1 million bridge that most of us will probably rarely use. Our media partners at NorthEscambia.com published a Tax Watch story about a state project to replace a little-used bridge near Highway 99 and Pineville Road.
The Florida Department of Transportation says fewer than 100 people a day use the Brushy Creek Bridge in Enon, that's near McDavid in North Escambia County. In tonight's Waste Watch report, Channel 3's Anthony Purr takes a look at the $1.1 million cost of replacing it.
You can see the wear and tear underneath this bridge. This is Brushy Creek Bridge on Pineville Road. The Florida Department of Transportation says it's time for this bridge to be replaced. It's been deemed structurally unsound.
It's just a matter of time before the heavy machinery brings down this decades-old bridge. Right next to it, crews add the finishing touches to a temporary road over Brushy Creek. Bob McCullough lives nearby and says it'll save him time on his trips.
To go to the recreational park, to go down to Bedita River, go fishing.
He's one of a small number of people who use the bridge. According to the Florida Department of Transportation, only about 90 cars use it daily. Some people, like Walnut Hill barber Kenneth Henley, can't wrap his head around why the state would spend more than $1 million for the sake of so few drivers.
There's so many other things it could be used for. I mean, the money is really, I think, just another example of just waste, all the way from Washington to local government.
The bridge on Pineville Road connects communities surrounded mostly by woods and scattered homes.
It's a good old country road, but when you start spending that kind of money, it's useless. I mean, it's not something that I would consider a priority.
But state road officials say if a bridge is in use, it has to be replaced when it's deemed unsafe. Not only that, Pineville Road is a county road, and Escambia County wants to keep it open during construction. That's because even though the traffic count may be low, closing the road could be a problem for emergency vehicles. In a statement, a county spokesman said in part, using an alternative route could increase the response time, and that could pose a threat to those in need of emergency response help. McCullough says people shouldn't be focused on who uses the bridge and who doesn't. He says his taxes help for the future 3-mile bridge replacement, and he hardly ever drives on that.
Everybody pays taxes. Everybody should get the benefit from it.
Demolition of this bridge should be done by the end of the week. A new bridge should be up by the end of the fall. Reporting from Enon, Anthony Purr, Channel 3 News.
High school football is coming to our sister station WFGX My 35. Friday night football on TV. Yep, Friday Night Rivals it's called. It'll feature live games between teams in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. First game, Navarre High versus Catholic. That's August 29th at 7:30. Then all the games will be re-aired the next morning at 9 a.m. You can find the schedule, the complete one, right on our website. Just head to WEARTV.com.
All right, Derek Brooks, the big story this week, going into the Hall of Fame, and that man coached him and Pensacola's other Hall of Famer. We'll hear from him coming up.
Channel 3 Sports is brought to you by Jocko's Bayfront Bar and Grill at the foot of Palafox. Here is Steve Nissom.
That is great.
Pretty amazing.
In the water.
Dan Shugart, of course, is headed up to Kenton, Ohio to cover
Sue
this
is
thing.
too.
And Sue Strawn as well, yes. And we'll hear reports from them Friday and Saturday.
All right. Thank you, Steve. We'll see you in the second half. Well, a popular waterfront park needs some public restrooms. Now, some members of the community are chipping in to make it happen.
It's valuable real estate in Santa Rosa County, and it's been unused for more than a year now. The property at the intersection of Shoreline Drive and Highway 98 in Gulf Breeze used to be a convenience store and a gas station. Owner Robert Rinke says he sees potential in the property, but the city wants that building gone.
It's a good location. The people are friendly. You've got a good traffic flow. A lot of people are finding out about Pensacola Beach, maybe that didn't know about it before, and it just keeps getting busier.
Rinke says he wants to construct an office building there and wants to have this building removed in the next few months. Now, City Manager Buzz Eddy recommends the building be demolished, with the city chipping in to help pay for the cost. The Gulf Breeze City Council will talk about the issue at its meeting on August 4th.
Well, there have been no permanent bathrooms at Navarre Park on Highway 98 since Hurricane Ivan washed the old ones away all those years ago. Well, that could soon change. Right now, park visitors have to use the restrooms at the Visitors Information Center, but when those offices close at 5 o'clock, the porta potties are the only option. Well, a group of business owners say they're willing to donate their time and services to build permanent bathrooms there if Santa Rosa County supplies the materials.
But we figure as though it's just a great project to give back. The park needs it, Navarre needs it, and I think it's just a great way to say thank you.
The Santa Rosa County Commission will consider the idea at its meeting on August 11th.
The Florida Forest Service has battled 95 fires in the Blackwater District so far this year. That is about the same number compared to this time last year, but this year the fires haven't been as destructive. They say the fire danger is low because of the heavy rains this year and the low wind speeds.
It stays that way.
Coming up for you, keeping you safe on the road, a GM Hybrid named the top safety pick for cars. The safest car on the road is probably the one that avoids getting into a crash altogether.
They do that now, at least one does. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety named the Chevy Volt the top safety pick plus today. That's what it says, yeah. Top safety pick plus.
Top safety.
Maybe there is a plus though. Besides earning an acceptable rating in crash tests, this hybrid electric vehicle also has an optional forward collision warning system. In fact, it was the only car out of the 12 models they tested to have this crash prevention technology.
And maybe Hyundai could use it. Hyundai has 2 separate recalls involving Sonatas. The automaker recalling 883,000 Sonatas, model years 2011 through 2004. Hyundai saying the transmission shift cable can detach from the shift lever. So what that means for you is it could cause you to be driving in a different gear than what it's showing you on the dashboard. The other recall involves nearly 5,700 2015 Sonatas. So these are brand new off the assembly line, but there's a brake problem that can keep the car from stopping. That recall covers vehicles made between April 25th and June 16th. The company says they will fix the recalled parts for free.
Telemarketing abuse and fraud were the fastest growing complaints by American consumers last year. It's according to a survey by Consumer Federation of America and other agencies. Despite the national do not call registry and rules concerning robocalls, consumers in the country still get a lot of unwanted phone calls, a lot. The list of consumer issues that tick off Americans include problems with cars, home improvement work, credit card disputes, and retail purchases. So just about everything. Well, your Netflix streaming speeds may be getting faster soon. Netflix has decided to connect directly to AT&T rather than using a third party to deliver its service. Netflix reached a similar deal with Comcast and Verizon earlier this year. Officials say the connection process should be complete within the next few days. Well, keeping your kids up to date on vaccinations. Local doctor says one age group is consistently missing out on the proper shots.
Channel 3 News First Warning WeatherNet is brought to you by Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strom.
Have you seen this? This is great video, underwater video. The Goliath grouper after the Florida spear fisherman. And he makes off with the spear too. The guy says he caught an amberjack and he didn't get to keep it. Yeah, so took off, got his flipper too. Good stuff too. And the guy says his wife took that with a GoPro camera. So she got some pretty good video. Didn't panic during that one either. Man, that is a monster. Over the weekend, we might see a pop-up shower or a storm in the area. So we've got a chance for some wet weather here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then heading into next week, you know, that's typical weather for August, this time of the year, pop-up showers.
Thanks, Alan. Parents of incoming kindergartners are making sure their little ones are up to date on their vaccines before going back to school. But there's another batch of students who need booster shots as well.
Channel 3's Catherine Daniel profiles a local doctor who's made immunizations for teenagers his medical mission in tonight's Health Watch.
Seasoned doctor James Burns has witnessed the evolution of many vaccines. He says during his residency, he saw many cases of meningitis. Today, his medical residents rarely see one.
It's definitely been the highlight of my career to see the disappearance of these diseases.
His main frustration, families who choose not to vaccinate.
And it's also, I've been witness to tragic cases where parents decided against the vaccine and the child came down with one of these deadly diseases and has suffered, and the parent's guilt is immeasurable.
Burns has a rare subspecialty in adolescent medicine. Adolescence begins at age 11, and he says that age group and older is the main one missing out on the proper shots.
The Escambia County school system only requires the tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis vaccine for entry as an adolescent. whereas there are many other adolescent immunizations that people don't know about.
Burns says he also recommends 4 other vaccines for middle and high school patients. The meningococcal vaccine that protects against sepsis and meningitis, the hepatitis A immunization, a yearly flu shot, and the HPV vaccine that protects both males and females from HPV infection and cancers caused by HPV. 17-year-old Jada Gable is in for her last round of childhood shots. Her mother, Tata Nanisha Gable, says she never hesitated having Jada getting the sometimes controversial and somewhat recent HPV vaccine, but she did do her research before the injections.
If you read through information and know that it's for, prevention of certain cancers, then I'm all for that because cancer does run in my family.
So far in 2014, there have been 580 confirmed cases of measles in the U.S., the most in 2 decades.
So we've had immigrants from China who have been coming in with the measles and spreading it to communities where the parents have decided against the vaccine.
Burns says when outbreaks like that happen nationally, it actually helps his case locally.
What I find is when I explain to them the facts and provide them the science, that the majority of parents realize this is good for their children or teen.
Catherine Daniel, Channel 3 News.
And if you'd like more health-related news or you'd like to watch that story again, we have it for you at WEARTV.com. You can click on the Health tab.
Looks like your health insurance premiums will be going up a bit next year. Florida insurance officials say they will release figures next week on how much health plans will cost under the Affordable Care Act for next year. Insurers say their customers are older and sicker than they anticipated. Well, Humana proposed an average 14% hike, or 14.1 if you want to split hairs, for its HMOs. Humana says the increase is driven by rising drug costs and higher doctor and hospital reimbursements. Executives at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida and Cigna also say rate increases are likely. Well, a sheriff from Ohio, tired of paying to house illegal immigrants from Mexico, sends a bill to the president of Mexico. And for news anytime, just head to WEARTV.com on your mobile device and download the mobile app.
A sheriff in Ohio has sent a bill, basically, to the president of Mexico.
Butler County Sheriff Richard Jones wants President Enrique Nieto to reimburse the Sheriff's Department for more than $900,000 spent to house illegal Mexican nationals in the county jail. Rich Jaffe has a look at what the sheriff is really after. In 2007, the sheriff sent a letter to then Mexican President Felipe Calderon. Jones asking then for about $61,000 in remuneration, which, by the way, he did not get. Sheriff Jones has appeared on a number of national news outlets as well, talking about that 2007 letter, as well as the fact that Mexican cartels put him on a hit list just a few years ago for some of his comments. Coming up in sports, the Wahoo's best pitcher tries to put an end to their losing streak.
And the Ice Flyers bring back another key player. Steve's up next.
Channel 3 Sports is brought to you by Jocko's Bayfront Bar and Grill at the foot of Palafox. Here is Steve Nissim.
Hamlin was docked 75 points.
Got an update from that scene that's still up as well. We'll have to
A quick update for you. After nearly 4 hours, the standoff near 57th Avenue and Lillian Highway is now over. No one hurt, but the man who barricaded himself in his home with a gun after shooting several random shots has been taken into custody. For the very latest, tune in to 3 in the morning. Thanks for joining us. Good night.